The Sony ZV-E10 has been on the market a couple years as of the time of filming this video, but I think it easily remains the best bang for the buck camera out there. If you're getting started in content creation or making videos, after the smartphone you already own, most people would be best served bumping up to this camera. While it does have a few limitations, I think those are vastly outweighed by the benefits. And in case you're wondering, yes, this video is being filmed with the ZV-E10. The biggest reason to get this camera is the picture quality for the price. If you get the camera with the kit lens, it's $799 US, or if you get the camera body only, it's $699 US. If this is your first ever camera, I recommend getting the kit lens so you can start filming right out of the box. Otherwise, you're gonna have to spend a few $100s before you can even get started. And again, if this is your first camera, you probably need to spend some time with the kit lens before you can figure out what type of lens you need for the types of things that you film. Piggybacking from that, the ZV-E10 can grow with you. If you're a complete beginner, like I was when I got the ZV-E10, you can put it in intelligent auto mode and the camera does all the work for you. There are a lot of great tutorials on YouTube for camera settings like ISO, white balance, shutter speed, aperture, and you can adjust all those on the ZV-E10 to bump your picture quality up a few notches. And if you really want to go down the rabbit hole of picture profiles and do some color grading, things like S-Log2 or HLG3, guess what? The ZV-E10 has you covered there as well. And I don't want to leave out that the ZV-E10 shoots in 4K resolution in 24 and 30 frames a second, so you don't have to sacrifice any picture quality for the price. And maybe even more importantly than that, the ZV-E10 uses interchangeable lenses. A lot of times the lens is actually more important than the camera body itself for determining how your footage looks. Having the ability to change lenses and get different focal lengths is essential if you want to do serious content creation or other types of video work. This is the biggest difference between the ZV-E10 and its little brother, the ZV-E1. The ZV-E1 just has a fixed lens, so what you get out of the box is what you get, but not the case with the ZV-E10. For another word on lenses in the ZV-E10, this is what's called an APS-C or a crop sensor camera. That means the sensor on the camera itself is smaller than a full frame camera. Now, without going into pros and cons of APS-C versus full frame, it is a fact that APS-C lenses are typically much cheaper than their full frame counterparts. So when you do decide to upgrade the lens on your ZV-E10, you can do so at a lower price point. And I want to highlight two more of the ZV-E10's particular strengths. First is its small form factor. It can literally fit in your pocket. Out in public, it's not going to draw a lot of attention, and it can easily fit in your bag. Huge plus. Second, you can run a USB-C cable straight from the ZV-E10 into your computer and use it as a webcam with no additional hardware or software. While you don't get 4K quality this way, it still leaps and bounds above any standard webcam. I almost exclusively use the ZV-E10 as my webcam, and my picture quality is almost always the best on any video call. Editing Matt here, and I wanted to show one more trick you can use with the ZV-E10 as a webcam using a capture card. So in this case, I'm using the Elgato Camlink 4K capture card, using the HDMI out of the ZV-E10 into the capture card and into my MacBook Pro. So now I'm just in a regular Zoom meeting right now. So when you go to select your camera, instead of ZV-E10 as the option, it's going to show Camlink 4K. If you click that option, now you're streaming in 4K resolution, which is incredible, and I can pretty much guarantee you're going to be the best one on the call. For a real quick comparison, I'm going to show, I've just got a regular Logitech HD Pro webcam C920, which is a pretty regular webcam. I'm going to switch over to that now, and you can see what video quality we're using on just a regular webcam. So you can see how much the ZV-E10 can really level up your video calls. So we're going to switch back to the Camlink 4K, and now you can see this is a really big step up. Of course, there are a few drawbacks to the ZV-E10, but like I mentioned earlier, I don't think these overtake the pros. First, the battery life isn't great. The ZV-E10 uses smaller batteries than most of its Sony counterparts. In my experience, you get less than an hour of shooting from a full charge. Now, to get around this, you can power it by USB-C while filming, and it'll trickle charge down much slower, or you can get a dummy battery that stays plugged in all the time. Of course, both of those options work best if it's on a tripod. Nonetheless, I do recommend getting a few batteries so you can swap them out on the go. From a strictly beginner standpoint, I think that's about it for the cons, but from an intermediate perspective, I'll highlight two other factors. The ZV-E10 has what's called 8-bit color, while higher end cameras have 10-bit or more, which just means you can do more when color correcting your footage. Now trust me, no beginner needs to worry about this, but if you get to the point where you're making higher end videos, it can be a limitation. The other consideration is that the smaller APS-C sensor doesn't work quite as well in low light. Now this is a complete non-factor for anybody that films talking head videos in their bedroom or vlogs outside outside anytime other than the pitch black of midnight, but it could eventually become an issue. Just so you know, the workaround of this is to either bring in more lights or use faster lenses that also let in more light. So I think the ZV-E10 is the absolute best bang for the buck for any beginner content creator. Now don't just think because this is labeled a beginner camera, it can't grow with you and be part of your content creation kit for years to come. With some good lenses and basic knowledge, I think you can easily use the ZV-E10 for a social media channel with tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Let me know in the comments if you plan to pick up the ZV-E10 or already have it and love the ZV-E10, and you can click here for more videos to help on your content creation journey.